day. My name's Philip Good. I'm the ICT manager here at Diamond Technology Group. And today we're going to be talking about Windows 10. We're going to talk about some of the features that come with Windows 10, some of the benefits of going to Windows 10, some of the risks of going to Windows 10, and what our recommendations are on the best way to go to Windows 10. So Windows 10 was released in July last year and is free to download if you are eligible up until July 29 this year. So what does free mean? Well, it means if you're running a previous eligible version of Windows, so if you're running Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 8 Pro and Windows 8.1 Pro, you are eligible up until July 29 to upgrade your version of Windows to Windows 10 for free. Please note that if you have got Windows 8 RT or Windows Enterprise, you're not eligible for this upgrade. So a little bit of history about Windows. So Microsoft have been releasing new versions of Windows fairly regularly now for over 20 years. Why is Windows 10 so special? Well, Windows 10 is really important to Microsoft, and that's because it's the last version of Windows that they will be releasing. Going forward, Microsoft will simply be upgrading Windows 10, similar to what Apple does to its iOS. So Windows 10 is a really, really important release for Microsoft. There's lots of different variants or platforms for Windows 10. So there's Windows 10 Home, which is designed for home users. There's Windows 10 Mobile and Mobile Enterprise, which are designed for mobile devices. There's Windows 10 Pro, which is your entry-level business version. There's Windows 10 Enterprise, which is your next-level business version. And there's also Windows 10 Education, which is specifically designed for use within education bodies. So what are some of the features that we get with Windows 10? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to show you. So if I jump in here, I'm actually running Windows 10 and I can show you. So the first feature to notice that's changed in Windows 10 is the Start menu. So what they've done with the Start menu is they've put back a traditional Windows 7 style Start menu with your menu options here on the left, and on the right they've added tiles similar to what Windows 8 had. Now these tiles are fully customizable, you can put in there whatever you want, but it's a best of both worlds feature there. You've got the Windows 7 Start menu and the Windows 8 tiles. The other thing that Microsoft have done is they've released a brand new browser. So on your screen here at the moment, what you're seeing is Microsoft's Windows Edge. So the wonder of Windows Edge is it is a brand new browser. This means none of the legacy code from Windows IE comes across. What does that mean? It means that it's quicker and more efficient. So brand new browser there. They've also introduced Windows Katana. So if you can see where I'm clicking with my mouse down in the bottom corner here, Katana is an AI or a help program that is designed to help you get information quickly. So you can type a question down there, you can search for something down there. If you've got a mic, you can even verbally ask the question. So very similar to Apple Siri, so that's Katana, a new little app that comes with Windows 10. Now this next one I absolutely love. This is Virtual Desktop. So if you see where I'm pointing down the bottom of my screen here with my mouse, you've got 3 squares there. This gets you into Virtual Desktop. So what you can see when I click on this, I actually have with my mouse, you can see 2 desktops open. On desktop 1, I have all the busy work that I'm doing. On desktop 2, I have the PowerPoint that I'm presenting to you. So nice clean PowerPoint. Now if I want to move one of these windows into another desktop, I simply right click on it and I can move it to the other desktop, or alternatively I can create a third desktop. So great new feature there, the Virtual Desktop. Microsoft have also improved the settings menu. So if we click on this icon here and go into all settings, we have the new settings menu. Now it's much more intuitive. So whatever it is you're looking for, look for the heading that you think it would most likely be under, and more than likely you'll find it there. So much more intuitive settings menu in Windows 10. There's also tablet mode. So Windows 10's really been designed with mobility in mind. So imagine you have a Surface, it's plugged into a docking station, it's got a keyboard and mouse connected to it, it's got a couple of monitors, and you're working away at your desktop doing work. And then you've got to go to a meeting and you want to take that Surface to the meeting. So you undock your Surface and you come down here, you click on here and you click on tablet mode. and your device turns into a tablet type interface. So you see the start menu's gone and you've just simply got your tiles, which are touchscreen on the surface, and away you go. So then you have your meeting, you come back to your desk, you plug it back into the docking station, you turn tablet mode off again, and once again you're back to a start menu with your desktop items, and away you go. So another great new feature there. So lots of new features with Windows 10 that are very, very helpful. So Microsoft is saying this is the best platform for modern business. So what are some of the benefits of Windows 10? Well, firstly, there's mobility. And as I just showed you, it is designed for mobility. It can go from tablet mode to desktop mode very, very easily. The base operating system, it's a single operating system across all platforms. So whether you've got a mobile device or a desktop, it's the same operating system. This means if you're writing a bit of software, if you have a bit of software, if it works on your desktop, it'll work on your mobile. It'll work on every device. So designed for mobility. And with mobility comes the need for better security. So mobile devices have a tendency to go missing a little bit more often than a desktop. So Microsoft have added extra security to Windows 10. Firstly, they've added Microsoft Hello. Now, Microsoft Hello is fingerprint and face recognition. So you can set up Windows 10 so that you can get access to your operating system either via your fingerprint or via face recognition. Next, they've introduced Windows Passport. So Windows Passport is two-factor authentication or an extra layer of authentication. And so you can traditionally, to get into an operating system, you had a username and password. Now you can have a username and password and Microsoft Hello. So username, password, fingerprint, username, password, face recognition, or you can add a PIN as well. So it can be username, password, and PIN. So it's an extra layer of authentication there. They've also then added Secure Boot. Secure Boot's designed to stop rootkits. What's a rootkit? A rootkit is a program that runs prior to your operating system booting up that circumvents the username and password. With a rootkit, you can load it up and you can get into files on the operating system without needing a username and password. Secure Boot prevents rootkits from running. And then there's Device Guard. So Device Guard is designed to stop day zero viruses. So pretty much every PC this day and age has antivirus on it. And how that works is when a new virus comes out, the antivirus company finds out about the virus, they add a signature to their AV to stop it running and you're good. But on day zero, that virus has the potential to impact your machine. So what Device Guard does is it stops unknown executables from running. And that's all a virus is. It's just a program that runs. So this can be set up by your business or it can just be done within Windows 10. If it's an unrecognized executable, it won't let you run it, or it'll prompt you saying, hey, do you really want to run this? So Device Guard, a way to stop day zero viruses effectively. Management's also improved, so patch management's improved. You can now decide what you want to download. You may just want security patches and critical patches. When you want to download it, you can set that schedule, and you can also now decide how you want to download it. Traditionally, it just came from a Microsoft web page, and you had to download it from the internet. Now you have the option to actually get it from other PCs on your local network that already have that patch, or even other PCs on the internet that already have that patch. So much better improved management of Windows 10. Now, it wouldn't be a webinar if I didn't mention cloud, and yes, Windows 10 is absolutely designed with cloud in mind. So it's set up with a single sign-on to access your cloud applications. So with a single sign-on, you can get into your OneDrive, which is where you keep your files in the cloud. You can get into Office 365, which is your email in the cloud. You can get into the Windows Application Store, which is where you grab your applications online. And you can also get into Skype for Business, which is your messaging system. So Windows 10 designed for access to the cloud. Productivity is also improved with Windows 10. It is a familiar interface, so whether you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 at the moment, as I showed you with the start menu, there's combinations of both, so staff will hopefully quickly get familiar with the interface and be able to use it efficiently. It's also faster, it's faster to boot, Edge runs faster, applications in general run faster in Windows 10. And as I mentioned before, it's mobile, it's designed for mobility, so it's designed to get your staff productive while they're out and about and mobile. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, look, it's free and there's lots of benefits. Why don't I just go out and upgrade? Well, to do that, firstly, you have to consider the risks. So, what are some of the risks of going to Windows 10? Well, firstly, you need to think about your software. Most businesses have critical line of business applications or software that they need to be running to do their business day to day. Before you go to Windows 10, you need to make sure that software is going to be functional on Windows 10. Will it actually load? If you get that far, then you also have to consider intermittent faults. It may load and it may appear to run, but then it may just crash randomly for no reason. So you need to make sure there's no intermittent faults. You need to make sure that specific processes will run. All processes within that piece of software will run. So a great example of that is your software at the end of month needs to run a specific process to do end of month. You may find that when you go to do that process, it doesn't work in Windows 10. And finally, the golden rule of software is vendor support. You must have vendor support for your software. So you can imagine if you've got a problem with your business critical software and you ring your vendor and say, hey, help me please fix this quickly, and the vendor goes, well, we don't support that in Windows 10, please downgrade to an older operating system before we'll look at it. Obviously that's not ideal, so you must have that vendor support for your software. The other thing to keep in mind is drivers. So all computers need drivers to run their peripherals. The first obvious one is print drivers. So if your printer doesn't have the correct driver for Windows 10, it's a possibility that when you print, it won't come out the same way as it appeared on the screen. It's a possibility it may not print at all. So you need to make sure you've got the right print drivers. And the same for any other peripherals. So you might have a specific telemetry piece of hardware that plugs into your PC, or just a specific camera or microphone that you need to work with your device. You need to make sure you've got the right drivers for that so that it'll function correctly in Windows 10. And just hardware in general. Every PC comes with a graphics card. Every PC comes with sound drivers. You need to make sure you've got the right drivers to run the hardware in your device. And then staff. Staff are the most important part of your business. You need to make sure that they're staying productive when they're cutting over to a new operating system and not becoming frustrated because they don't understand it. So you need to make sure that your staff are aware of how the new operating system works when it's coming online. And there's lots of online resources there if you want to give them some training prior to bringing in a new system. So we've been doing this for a while now. What's our experience been? So a couple of things that I've noticed that's worth mentioning. Firstly, compatibility. Compatibility is an item to consider. So for example, we had a customer where we installed Windows 10 on a laptop for them, and they had a 3G dongle which they were using to get to the internet while they were mobile. There was no drivers for that dongle in Windows 10, which effectively made it useless. So you need to make sure you've got that compatibility with everything before you go and upgrade to Windows 10. Reliability, so based purely on stats, we get less tickets per capita for Windows 10 devices than we do for other operating systems, which would tell you that it is in general a more reliable operating system than previous versions of Windows. Installation is another thing that we've noticed as well. The installation times for Windows 10 can vary depending on what type of device you've got, what type of hardware, what type of drivers are installed, what peripherals are installed. The times can vary from as little as 45 minutes up to 2 or 3 hours to push through an installation. And performance is the other one. The feedback we're getting from our customers is performance is better. It's quicker to load, it's quicker to run software. The browser seems more prompt as well, so that's good to hear. So installation, how can I install it? Well, if you do have an eligible version of Windows at the moment, you will be getting a prompt in the bottom right-hand corner that pops up and says, click here to upgrade to Windows 10. And it really is quite literally that simple. You click on that icon and then follow the prompts through. I will put a quick waiver in here and say that Diamond customers don't get that prompt because we have blocked it just to make sure nobody accidentally upgrades to Windows 10 before they're ready. So should I install it that way? Well, if you've got a PC at home that you want to upgrade, then yeah, that's probably a quite reasonable way to install it. But it is a 3 gig download. So you can imagine if you've got a business with 20 PCs, you've got an ADSL internet connection with limited data usage, downloading 3 gig 20 times is going to hurt the performance of your internet while you're doing it, obviously. And if you've got limited data usage, then it's going to use up a lot of your data. So maybe not the best way to do it in that kind of environment. So how else can I get it? Well, Diamond have other ways to do it. We can come out and install it manually from an install file. If you do have the right kind of network, we can actually automate the install so that all you have to do is simply reboot your PC and the install process will kick off. So what are our recommendations? Well, firstly, obviously, contact Diamond. We've been doing this for over almost a year now. We've got a lot of experience with it. We've seen a lot of the gotchas. We can definitely help you. Confirm support. As I said, it's absolutely critical that you have support for your software and peripherals in Windows 10. Test it. Get a single PC or device, install Windows 10, put all your peripherals in it, test all your software, and make sure it works. And train your staff. Now, I'm not saying send them off on a Microsoft certified course. I'm just saying give them an overview of what Windows 10 looks like, where they're going to find stuff that is in a different spot than their previous operating system, just so that they're ready for it when they come to work and they've got a brand new operating system and it's not a cultural shock. The other thing I want to say here is, yes, the free period ends on the 29th of July, but our recommendations will stay the same whether you're getting the free upgrade or whether you're purchasing it in the future. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. I'd love to talk longer, but it is only a 15-minute webinar. If you do have any questions, my email address is on the screen now. More than happy for you to email me with any questions. If you are a Diamond customer, you can contact your relationship manager and they'll be happy to help you out. If you're not a Diamond customer, absolutely give us a call here and somebody will be able to help you out. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.